Welcome again to our program. It's time to visit with the team from the Apple organization. That's Addison Partners for Play, Learning, and Education. And of course, they're off to a dynamic start for the beginning of the current school year, but there's lots of other things happening as well. So joining us once again from the Apple organization is Maureen Reedy, who is the project director with Apple. Hi, Maureen. Welcome back. Your colors match our fall colors.
Oh,
really nice with your
it.
jacket
Great.
there. Yeah.
Perfect.
Would you like to introduce the guest that you've brought with you today?
Yes, I'd like to introduce Rhonda Eubanks. She is the director of the Parents as Teachers Home Visiting Program through the DuPage Regional Office of Education.
Hi, Rhonda. Welcome to our program.
Thank you for having me.
It's nice to have you here today from the DuPage ROE office. Very
Thank
good.
you.
An important partner in education throughout DuPage County. Let's talk a bit about this office that you head up now, Rhonda, the Parents as Teachers Home Visiting Program. Sounds like there's a lot of moving parts to all of this. You want to share a little bit with that, and how does that benefit families here in DuPage County?
Absolutely. Parents as Teachers is a home visiting program that started in 1981 in Missouri, so it's been around for quite a while. It's currently in all 50 states and in 6 countries, so it's pretty big. Benefits our families because it allows our parent educators to go directly into the homes with the families that they serve. It's in the comfort of their own homes. We provide bi-weekly home visits. We do screenings on the children that help detect early developmental delays. We work directly with families teaching parenting skills. We provide resources for the community as well as educational resources for both the parents and the children.
We've talked about this before. When the kids arrive on scene, nobody's there with the manual in their hand to say, here's how you do all of this. And young families, young parents have so many questions and they're dealing with so many issues. And this sounds like, Rhonda, this is one of those great resources that a family with young children can turn to. Give us an idea about the age range of the children that your team works with then when you make these home visits with the families.
Absolutely. We work with newborn children up to the age of 3 currently.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, is there maybe some standard of eligibility? Do people have to make application? Do you have eligibility requirements then for programs
We do.
like this?
We have an eligibility form. Some of the automatic qualifiers are homeless parents. Teenage parents are automatic qualifiers for the program. Then we also work with immigrant families. We work with first-time parents, single parents, those that have been incarcerated.
So there's a lot of issues going on with the family unit, and then when they are having children and their young kids, newborns, the early learners and so on, they don't want to not be able to provide those services to their young children, and they have other things happening too in many cases. You just mentioned a few of them. So do you put them through, is there a vetting process, like an intake process when a family maybe first contacts the ROE office for this service?
Absolutely. So the families are high-risk, low-income families that we work with. They would call the ROE and ask for either the Parents as Teachers Department, or they can go onto the ROE website under Early Childhood Education. There's a screening process that we do go through, and we align the family with the parent educator that best suits their needs.
Now, what's a parent educator? That sounds like it's a unique term, something new, and are these professionals, or are they people who are trained to work with your families as part of your team? Talk about the parent educator part.
Absolutely. Parent educator, home visitor is interchangeable, but the parent educators that work in our program all have at least a bachelor's degree, so they've been through college. They also go through an extensive 2-week Parents as Teachers training where they learn the ins and outs of home visiting, and they're provided with those resources. We also go through at least 20 hours of professional development every year.
Okay. Do they have any background or training in social skills, social work, in other words, in addition to the as a part of the training rather that ROE provides to them?
Absolutely. Some of the workers that we hire are social workers with MSW degrees. We also have teachers on board, healthcare workers.
All right. Are they compensated for their work? Are they volunteers? How do you handle the parent educators?
Yes, they are compensated for the work.
Okay.
We're funded through the Illinois State Board of Education.
All right, right. And that's great to know that dollars are coming in from the state level, from state government to the counties, and this is how DuPage County and lots of other counties, it sounds like, are able to put those dollars to good use, to really get folks in homes, on the ground, working with the families. Is it best to work with families in that environment, in the home environment, rather than having them meet at an office or school or the county offices? The breakdown of that barrier can be really important for a young family, right?
Absolutely. Families feel most secure and more comfortable in their own homes. So we do go out into the homes to provide these services to them. If for some reason they are not comfortable having visits in their homes, we can go to any place that they choose, whether it's a park, a library, the local Starbucks.
Oh, nice. Do parent educators also provide, well, they do. You said they provide all sorts of information on community services. If a parent educator saw something that maybe needs attention from one of your partner agencies, would they bring that to the attention of the ROE office or local agencies around? Or, if they saw something that you really could use some help with, maybe there's food insecurity, for example, in the home, how would they handle that?
Yes, we have a lot of resources throughout DuPage County that we utilize. Food banks, clothing. We partner with a lot of agencies that have additional resources that we provide to all of our families.
Yeah. Well, Maureen, now let's talk about how the agency and the office that Rhonda heads up works with the Apple organization. Now, if parents were here in Addison, for example, and they definitely need this type of service, you could probably make quick referral then to Rhonda's office at the ROE department at the county to get them in touch with those parent educators, the parents as teachers, right?
That is something that we're really, really pushing, particularly now. We want to make sure that, as of course, one of our ultimate goals through Apple is making sure that children are ready for school once they get to kindergarten age. And one of the really beneficial ways to do that is connecting families with the home visiting program, the Parents as Teachers home visiting program. If we can get families connected with that program, it just gets them off on such a great start at that very early age.
Is it pretty frequent then that you refer families to the Parents as Teachers program?
We do. It's one of our primary programs that we do refer families to. So anytime we go to an event in the community, we will take along flyers for Parents as Teachers to make sure that families know that program is available. Or if we connect with the family and they're letting us know about particular needs that they have, we'll also let them know about their program, the home visiting program.
Does it take a while for parents to talk to you, for example, or Rosie at your office, that there's a need there and they're not quite sure how to even verbalize that to anyone, because it is so personal. It is within their family life after all.
Absolutely.
And now they have young children. And do they know not just that the services are available, but how to even ask for something like that?
Right.
Is it challenging?
Absolutely. And we are so fortunate to have Rosie Galvez as our parent advocate. She connects very, very well with the families because she lives in the community, knows the community so well, and she can speak both Spanish and English, so she can connect with families that speak both languages. And she really has the ability to connect with families and bring them to that comfort level where they can disclose to her what they might need. And sometimes they don't know what they need or they don't know what's available. And a lot of times families do not know that home visiting is an option for them to provide support for them on a weekly basis or bi-weekly
The
basis.
level of anxiety that parents could have at that point in their life and with their child must be so extreme, and you don't know it unless you're in it. And once you're in that, you feel like you're the only one who's having this problem, that no one else has this, which is not the case, obviously, as Rhonda indicated, with every state having a service similar to this. So just the anxiety alone would almost keep a person from asking for help, because there might be a level of shame, embarrassment. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn. They're afraid it's going to cost them a lot of money that they don't have. And these services are available. It's just that initial outreach that is a challenge.
Exactly. It's just really being able to connect with those families and making them feel comfortable enough to ask for what they need and empower them. That's a very huge part of the home visiting program, is empowering parents to advocate for their children and find the supports and resources and reach out to those resources on their own, to really make sure that they're the ones that feel like they're the ones that are making a difference in their child's life. The parent educators, the home visitors, are there to support them, but the real goal is to empower parents to.
And you have such a great network here locally in Addison.
Yes.
We've talked with almost all of your partner agencies over the last several years that, regardless whether we talked about it's a food insecurity issue, a medical issue, an insurance issue, information for the parents, you've got all that at hand, right?
Exactly.
And you know how to connect all these people.
As do the
Everybody does,
visitors,
including Ron.
Yes, and the parent educators. They because we have this partnership, we can connect them with resources, and we can connect families to them, and vice versa. The partnership it works both ways, which is really great.
Now, Rhonda, tell us a little bit about how you got into this job, because this is you're really helping lots of people here through the Regional Office of Education. But you must have had other areas that you worked in your career that brought you to this. How long have you been with the DuPage Regional Office of Education?
Yes. So I've been with the ROE for a little over 3 years. Prior to that, I lived in Lake County, where I also spearheaded a Parents as Teachers program there. I was also a Head Start director and Head Start education manager, and I ran a family child care and adult care center for 17 years.
Right. You took over a program called Success by Six.
Correct.
Home visiting.
That's
is
correct.
Similar now, or are we broadening out the age range there?
So
for the
we
services?
broaden out the age range. Parents as Teachers was newborn to 3 years old. The Success by Six program was 3 to 5 year olds, preparing them for kindergarten.
Always working in Illinois? Always your professional career in Illinois?
No, I'm from the East Coast, actually.
Oh, very good. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Relatively speaking, I know you'll, of course, brag about DuPage County, but in your research, in your current job now, how does Illinois stack up in terms of some of the other services that are provided around the country? It'd be just kind of interesting to see where we fall when it comes to early childhood education.
Illinois is among the top.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Maureen's happy to hear
By
that
far.
too.
Exactly. Yes.
Is it really? That's great.
It really is.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Especially with home visiting, it's the #1 state for home visiting services.
Now, there's another service that you provide. I think you're providing out of the ROE office, and that is a doula.
Yes.
Oh boy, you're talking to somebody. You know, my child raising days go back many years ago. Spelled DOULA for those of you who are Googling it right now. But what is a doula, and what are the services that they provide?
Absolutely.
Your work goes into this area as well. Talk
That's
about that.
correct. We started a doula program a little over a year ago, and a doula is an emotional support as well as a physical support for pregnant moms. They provide these services before, during, and shortly after childbirth. Yeah.
Do they meet with the mom prior to their expected delivery date to do what? Give them information?
So a doula is also a home visitor, an enhanced home visitor to the program. So the home visitors meet, or the parent educators meet with the families twice a month. The doula begins to meet with the family on a weekly basis during their 7th month of pregnancy, and they meet weekly all the way until the birth of the child, and then 2 months postpartum.
Oh, really? So even
Yes.
after?
Yes.
They don't just say, congratulations, and out the door they go, right?
No, we want to make sure that they have the tools that they need, especially the first-time parents.
Is this
to
something
support.
relatively new in the area of early, I mean, we're talking about early child, we're talking about birth here, even before. So is this a relatively new service?
It's new to us, and it's new to other programs, but no, doulas go back many, many years.
Now, what type of training would a doula have? They're not medical professionals or nursing, are they?
They are not medical professionals.
Okay.
They go through about 16 hours of training to become a doula. And then there's also professional development that they go through as well. Both of my doulas that I hired for the program are both, they're called CLC, which is Certified Lactation Counselors. So they help the moms breastfeed the babies. They are also Lamaze certified, so they provide that education before going into labor.
Are these families, are we talking about kind of a cross-section of socioeconomic spectrum? Or are we talking low income all the way through? Does that play into, in other words, what the doulas provide?
Ideally, it's high-risk, low-income families, but we provide the service to anybody that needs it.
And again, this is out of the Regional Office of Education,
That
right?
is correct.
Which is interesting. You think this might be something out of the health department, for example, but it's not. This is out of education.
Yes.
Where you're working with the expected moms, families, and so on before their child's even born.
Absolutely.
How cool is that?
We provide all kind of education for the moms.
Because we're talking about getting a good start literally
Correct.
from day one,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Now, how many families would you say you have? 2 doulas that you employ?
We have 2 doulas.
For the whole county?
No, we serve about 11 different communities throughout DuPage County.
Okay, so
Yes.
just a cross-section right now.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
How many families would one doula work with then in the course of well, I guess it's happening all the time, so they're always busy, right?
So they carry caseloads of about 10 families.
Oh, boy. Wow.
And since the program has started a little over a year ago, they have attended close to 50 births between the two, close to 50 between the two.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. Success stories, good things,
All good things.
better than maybe they thought it was going to go early on, perhaps.
Absolutely.
Do you follow up with the parents and the moms?
We do a survey at the end
Postpartum?
of, yes,
What are you hearing from them?
all positive things. Some of the moms have multiple children and they think that they don't need a doula until the doula explains what she does and how she can support them during that time. And then the positive birth experiences, the positive outcomes. Doulas have been known to having a doula decreases the risk of having C-sections and pain medication.
Wow.
So they're very helpful. They provide those comfort measures that the moms need as
Are
well.
there issues with the medical side of this and HIPAA and so on? Or doulas certified? I guess they would have to be certified then to get into this line of work anyway. But are they cleared for this kind of thing?
They are cleared. There's a distinct difference between medical and doulas because we are not medical providers and we kind of stay in that doula lane.
Yeah, you would have to, I
We
would
just assist when needed.
But what if they have a question and it goes into the medical area? What if the mom, maybe there's a language issue or something's, preventing them to communicate back to the medical community? Is a doula sort of a liaison then, would you say, between the two, or they stay away from that?
So we cannot interpret, although one of my doulas is bilingual, we cannot interpret. We would need to have the medical staff come in, and most of the hospitals also have translators.
So really, the doulas are seeing, this is just fascinating, by the way, the doulas are seeing the moms at the last trimester? Did you say?
Correct.
The third trimester?
Yes.
Last month.
Through at the time of their child being born, and how long afterwards?
2 months postpartum.
Boy, they become part of the family, don't they?
Yeah.
This is really something.
Yes.
And that's a great time because they've got, got so many questions, especially when there's other children in the family, and maybe they don't have the family support systems that others do, and they really need that extra help.
They do, yes. And I'm just happy we're able to provide that.
I'm sure you are. Do you see the need just growing now because this has taken off? 11 communities in DuPage County, so you're only hitting about a third of DuPage County at that point. So careful what you wish for, right? It's going to be going up and up pretty soon. So would you see this expanding over several years, depending on whether or not you have the resources available?
Absolutely. I'm hoping to expand soon.
How do people contact to find out if their community is able to receive this service? Do they go through the regional office?
Through the ROE, correct.
Okay.
And if there's not a program in their area, with us being the regional office, we can service them.
Oh, you can refer them?
Correct.
Very good, right. Rhonda, thanks for coming in and talking with us today. This has been absolutely fascinating. I've certainly learned a lot of new things today, and I hope this gave you an opportunity to talk about these really vital services that are available for the Regional Office of Education. And the Parents and Teachers Program, if you want to connect with that office, their telephone number in DuPage County is 630-407-5783. Now, Maureen, this is just, like I said, this is really cool, these types of services.
Absolutely.
And again, you've got a wealth of information that you can give to parents here in Addison through all the different opportunities that you have. In fact, we're going to talk about a couple events coming up soon, but all the opportunities that you have to work with your families locally and get them this information. Have you had people ask about the doula program before, or is this relatively new?
It is, because it's relatively new. It's more us informing families that it's available rather than them knowing that they can access it. So we're always happy to do that. We're always, as we're always sending out those, passing out those parents and as teachers flyers, we're always
it would be interesting to track that too, to families who you make first contact with the doula program, to see as they go along, how their kids are doing, and
actually, that's very interesting that you say that. That's one of the things that we're looking to do in Apple, is really be able to examine data on the progression of families that go through home visiting and go through doula programs, and then potentially go through Head Start or go through the Addison Early Learning Center preschool, and then on to kindergarten. We really want to see, what's happening with those children when they're getting all of those great services.
That data is super important, and we're talking about tracking from the time that the child's born through all those different services you just provided, all the way into kindergarten at ASD4 and the Early Learning Center at ASD4, all the way through. I mean, you kind of have the whole thing covered.
Right, yeah.
That's
and
really
we're
great.
really looking to push and expand home visiting as much as possible. We recently, another one of the collaboratives in Wheaton and Apple, we've worked together to put together a presentation for all of the partner organizations throughout DuPage County to inform them about home visiting and the doula program, because as you're saying, a lot of people really don't know about it or don't understand it. So we want to make sure all of the partners know that they have that their organizations and the clients that they serve have access to these great programs.
And I suppose for our viewers and our families in Addison, the best place to go would be start with Addison School District 4, and they will refer those parents and families on to Apple, and then you can make the connection there.
Absolutely, yes.
So nobody gets left behind.
Exactly.
Right.
I was a home visitor before, prior to my role
at Metropolitan.
in Apple. I was a home visitor, so I got to see firsthand how wonderful and amazing the program is. And
that's great. Yeah. Thanks, Rhonda, for coming in and talking with us about this today. Now, there's a couple of upcoming events that Apple is going to be involved in with Addison School District 4 and the Addison Public Library. That's the first one. I want to talk about that.
Exactly. Yes. So we have DuPage Museum pop-up coming up the Monday before Thanksgiving. That's kind of a tradition that's happened over the past few years. The museum will come in, bring a lot of wonderful, fun things for children and families to do, and that's on Monday, November 25th, from 10 to 11:30. So that's coming up,
and then a holiday event.
Exactly, and then we have our one of the biggest events of the year that we do in conjunction with the Addison School District, the Elves Festival, and that will occur on Monday, December 16th, from 4:30 to 7:30, and that's a lot of fun. It's a really great winter event. We have a lot of resources, a lot of fun activities for kids to do, and it's a great event for families.
Coming up, where is that event going to be held at, Mark?
And that's at the Indian Trail Junior High.
Great. All right. Well, we've covered a lot of topics on our program today, and hope that you've learned a little bit about the services that are provided from the DuPage Regional Office of Education and their Parents as Teachers program, and also the upcoming events that are going to be taking place in our community that our Apple organization is involved in. So we'd like to thank our guests from Apple, of course, Maureen Reedy, their project director, and from the DuPage Regional Office of Education, Rhonda Eubanks, director of the Parents as Teachers Home Visiting Program. Thank you both for joining us. We appreciate that, and we will see you on our next program. I'm Don Weiss. Thank you for joining us.